I'm going to start today's presentation on non-invasive markers of hepatic fibrosis. Welcome everybody to today's presentation. I'm Dr. Mohammad Rafiqul Islam, Registered Department of Medicine, Blue Unit, M. Abdul Rahim Medical College Hospital, Dinaspur. Before going to that, we want to talk briefly about the normal anatomical structure of the liver. This is showing the liver, and with associated structure, this is hepatic lobule consisting of portal tract and central vein. And this figure shows the direction of the bile flow and the direction of the blood flow, which is called hepatic acidic. This is another structure of liver showing the sheet of hepatocytes. This is the sinus. This sinusoid. In the sinusoid, you can see Kupffer cell, and this is bile canalicula's. And this is the portal tract containing of portal vein, hepatic artery, and bile duct. The parenchymal cell or hepatic cell comprise most of the volume of the liver, about 60%, and other cells are sinusoidal cells, which including endothelial cells, Kupffer cells, hepatic stellate cells, and pit cells. Here is the simplified structure showing the position of the different cells. This is hepatocytes and this is sinusoid. In between the space, this is called space of DC, where placed cell or I2 cell present, which normally store vitamin A. And also there is natural killer cell and also T cell. And in the sinusoid, there is Kupffer cell, B cell, and polymorphonuclear cell. External matrix composition of normal liver. Normal liver has connective tissue matrix, which includes type 4 collagen fiber, which is non-fibrillatory. Another components is glycoproteins, including fibronectin and laminin, proteoglycans, including heparan sulfate. So what is cirrhosis? Cirrhosis is characterized by diffuse hepatic fibrosis and nodule formation. What is the pathogenic mechanism in hepatic fibrosis? The stellate cell is main factor for hepatic fibrosis. Stellate cell occurs under the influence of cytokines. Once stellate cells become activated, they can perpetuate their own action. And normally, there is synthesis of type 4 collagen, but when stellate cell activated, there is formation of type 1 collagen, which is fibrillatory. Here is simplified photo showing the stellate cell activation by induced hepatocyte. The induced hepatocytes release peroxide products, insulin-like growth factor, tumor growth, transforming growth factor alpha, epithelial growth factor, and also growth factor and transform growth factor beta 1, which causes activation of stellate cell, and it also can be activated directly by activated Kupffer cell, which is macrophage situated in the liver, secreting transforming growth factor beta, platelet-derived growth factor, and the active oxygen molecule. When it is activated, this is called then myofibroblast, which then can perpetuate their action, secreting cytokines, and also the cytokines causes fibrogenesis. Some cytokines causes matrix degeneration, such as matrix metalloproteinase, but matrix metalloproteinase action is inhibited by tissue inhibitor of matrix metalloproteinase 1 and 2. Chemotactic substance also secreted, which causes chemotaxis, vasoconstriction by endothelin 1 and cytokine production, interleukin 10. This is another simplified photo showing the process of fibrosis. This is showing the quiescent hepatic stellate cell. This is the activated stellate cell showing fibrosis, hepatic injury or inflammation such as viral particles, ethanol. Apoptosis of the hepatic stellate cell occur, then there will be no fibrosis. But if the injured or hepatic injury continue, then there will be persistent of the activated hepatic stellate cells activation, and progressively there will be fibrosis and ultimately cirrhosis. This is showing normal liver, and in the space of disease there is type 4 collagen, which is non-fibrillatory, but in the right side photo it is showing type 1 collagen, which is fibrillatory. And also there is loss of hepatic microvilli. What are the stages of fibrosis? Here is showing different type of fibrosis, commonly used Ishak and Metavir score, other score, Nodal score, Shearer score, Bett, Ludwig, and Lornick score. And we will show comparison between Ishak and Metavir score here. The appearance in the left side and the score are showing here. If there is no fibrosis, then Ishak score is 0 and Metavir score is F0, that's F0. When there is fibrosis expansion of some portal areas with or without short fibrous septa, this purple color showing the fibrous expansion of some portal areas, then it is Ishak 1 and Metavir F1. When there is fibrous expansion of most portal areas with or without short fibrous septa, then it is Ishak score 2, Ishak fibrosis test 2, but Metavir also 2. But when there is fibrous expansion of the most portal areas with occasional portal to portal bridging, there is portal to portal bridging, then Ishak score is 3, but it will remain in the Metavir score F2. When there is fibrous expansion of the portal areas with marked portal to portal and bridging, and also there may be portal to central bleeding, then it will be Ishak score, Ishak stage 4, Metavir stage F3. When there will be marked bridging between portal to portal and portal to central, and portal to portal with occasional nodule, that is called incomplete fibrosis, then it will be Ishak stage 5, but it will remain in Metavir stage F3. And when there is definite fibrosis or probable fibrosis, then it will be Ishak score, Ishak stage 6 and Metavir 4. It is the appearance of the fibrous cirrhotic liver showing here. So how we can detect the fibrosis? We can detect fibrosis of the liver by invasive method and non-invasive method. Invasive method is liver biopsy, which includes, which have some complications. Now, non-invasive methods are being more popular. Non-invasive methods are actually depends on biological properties and some physical properties. Biological properties are serum markers, and physical properties actually measure the liver stiffness by imaging. Serum marker can be classified as direct or class 1 or indirect or class 2. Here showing the direct serum markers and indirect serum markers or combined panel. Direct serum markers are hyaluronic acid, laminin, UKL40, procollagen type 3, N-terminal procollagen type 3, membrane matrix metalloproteinase type 1 and 2, tissue inhibitor of metalloproteinase, and transforming growth factor beta. And indirect markers are here showing liver enzymes, ALT/AST, AST/ALT ratio, gamma glutamyl transferase, platelet count, albumin, bilirubin, prothrombin, gamma glutamyl transferase, and TAP pretest. We will discuss more about this now. Before that, we should know about what should be the feature of ideal marker of liver fibrosis. It should be liver specific, levels not influenced by alteration in liver, renal, or reticuloendothelial function, and should be measure one or more of the following process: stage of fibrosis or imbalance of activity of extracellular matrix, fibrogenesis or degradation, and should be easy to perform. And now we will show some biomarkers, serum biomarkers for hepatic cirrhosis. For hepatitis C virus, this red color shows the patented formula. Those include fibro test combining alpha 2 macroglobulin, gamma glutamate transferase, apolipoprotein A1, haptoglobulin, total bilirubin, age and gender, fibrospect, which combine alpha 2 macroglobulin, hyaluronate, tissue inhibitor of metalloproteinase 1, enhanced liver fibrosis score or ELF, combining age, hyaluronate, matrix metalloproteinase type 3, and tissue inhibitor of metalloproteinase type 1. As like as HEPA score and fibrometer, those are patented formula. And these blue colors are not patented. We can use our word in our word easily. AST2 platelet ratio, which is commonly known as APRI test. This is measured as HT, that is patient AST, and divided by upper limit of normal level, which is 40 unit per liter, and platelet count into 100. And Forn's index, which include platelet count, gamma glutamate transferase, patient age, and cholesterol. Log index, which includes platelet, AST-ALT ratio. Gothenburg University Cirrhosis Index or GAUSI, AST, prothrombin time, INR, and platelet includes here. Fibro index include platelet count, AST, unit per liter, and gamma globulin, gram per deciliter. For hepatitis B, there is Hui score, including BMI, bilirubin, albumin, and platelet, and Jane score, including alpha 2 macroglobulin, age, hyaluronate, and gamma glutamate transferase. For NFLD, this score, especially the NFLD fibrosis score, is very much useful, which include age, BMI, if IFG or diabetes. If IFG or diabetes present, then here will be 1, or if no, then will be 0. It will also include AST-ALT ratio, platelet count, albumin, BARD score, including BMI if more than 28, then 1, AST-ALT ratio if more than or equal 0.8, then 2, if diabetes, then 1. For hepatitis C and HIV combined infection, FIV4, it includes age, AST, and platelet, and also ALT. Imaging, which is on the physical properties, that is measured the liver stiffness. First of all, conventional radiological modalities for diagnosis of fibrosis or cirrhosis: conventional ultrasound measuring the volume, nodularity, echo texture, portal hypertension with its secondary signs of splenomegaly, ascites, and portosystemic venous collaterals can suggest the liver cirrhosis. Ultrasound can identify diffuse parenchymal disease but cannot reliably distinguish fat from fibrosis. Conventional CT and MRI have higher specificity than conventional ultrasound for diagnosis of cirrhosis. Liver elastography techniques, which are being more popular, these are non-invasive, and elastographic method can be applied with ultrasonogram wave or MRI. Ultrasound-based elastography, this includes strain elastography or quasi-static elastography, shear wave elastography, which is divided further, transient elastography or FibroScan. We'll talk about this further. Point shear wave elastography or acoustic radiation force impulse, and 2D real-time shear wave elastography, which is supersonic shear imaging. What is actually shear wave elastography, or what is shear wave? Shear wave calculates the tissue deformation or strain induced by stress. Stress means the force we give in a substance, and strain means the deformation occurs due to force. The stress may be applied with slight free hand compression or using the transducer, or may derive from endogenous movements. There is showing the shear wave. Two examples of shear wave here. This is the principle of measurement using shear wave. The fibrosis measured here. There it includes 3 steps. Number 1, shear wave excitation. This is the direction of the force, and this is the direction of the shear wave. And then by transmission and receiver, the tissue displacement map is produced, from where shear wave speed is calculated, and from then shear wave modulus is measured, calculated, which is G equals to rho into V square. Here rho is the density of the tissue, which constant for a given tissue, such as here is liver. So the modulus actually depend on the velocity, and we know the stiffer the tissue, the more the velocity will be. So the more fibrosis will be expressed by this. Now, transient elastography, it includes mechanical vibrator and a single channel ultrasonic transducer. The mechanical vibrator generates a low frequency wave of 50 Hz to generate a shear stress in the target tissue at a length of 4 cm, and the velocity of the shear wave can then be measured using an ultrasonic signal. Here is the example of showing the procedure. This is the transducer, and this is a 4 cm into 1 cm cylinder shaped area where the measurement is taken, and this showing the 3 results here. And we can see that here E is the shear modulus, and E is depend on actually on velocity. We have said it before. Here is 1, then the modulus was 3 kilopascal, so there is no fibrosis. Here is 1.6, the modulus is 7.7 kilopascal, and if the velocity is 3, that is the tissue is more stiffer and fibrosis likely. And under this F0, F2, and F4 shows the Metavir score of the liver fibrosis. So the transient elastography results are expressed in kilopascal, and range is from 1.5 to 75 kilopascal. Normal values is around 5 kilopascal, and it may be higher in patients with low or high body mass index. This is showing the normal level to what will mean by the transient elastography readings. If up to 7 kilopascal, then there may be absent or mild fibrosis or Metavir F0 to F1. If up to 7 to 9.5 kilopascal, then significant fibrosis. This is in stage F2, and from 9.5 to 12.5 kilopascal, then severe fibrosis. This is in F3 or Metavir F3, and if more than this, then cirrhosis is defined, that is Metavir score F4. Precaution should be taken during elastography, should be fast up to 4 to 6 hours or at least 2 hours, supine at 30-degree left lateral position, right arm elevated, shallow breath hold, and pain measurement are taken, and the measurement should be right. 9 and 11 intercostal space is usually actually used, which is the area of the liver biopsy, and 6 cm depth of the liver tissue is measured. Limitation is if the patient is obese, narrow intercostal space or ascites. For the obese person, there is a special probe which is called XL probe. Now we will talk about the acoustic radiation force impulse imaging or point shear wave imaging, which involves mechanical excitation of the tissue using a short duration 262 microsecond acoustic pulse that propagates shear waves and generate localized microscale displacement in the tissue. The shear wave velocity expressed in meter per second is measured in a smaller region, 10 millimeter long and 6 millimeter wide. As we compare the transient elastography, there is more. exact location where, this is important, exact location where measurement are obtained can be selected by the operator under V-mode visualization. Here the transducer, and this is the inside the lever. This is the site producing the shear wave, and the shear wave direction showing the arrow. This is a ultrasonogram showing the point of shear wave production. Results are reported as shear wave speed in meters per second at a range of 0.5 to 5 meters per second in abdominal applications. Now 2D real-time shear wave elastography, which is combined of a radiation force induced in tissue by focused ultrasonic beams and a very high frame rate ultrasound imaging sequence capable of catching in real-time transient propagation of resulting shear waves. A wide range of values 2 to 150 kilopascal. Its failure rate is significantly lower than that of the transient elastography. The size of the region of interest can be chosen by the operator. The result is expressed in meter per second or in kilopascal. Now about magnetic resonance elastography. This is three principle: generating mechanical waves in a tissue, imaging the waves with a special MRI sequence, and processing the wave information to generate elastogram, which are images that quantitatively depict the tissue stiffness. Here you can see the conventional MRI, and this is the mechanical driver generating the mechanical waves. And this is the special wave image, and this is elastogram showing the color code. Here is no significant stiffness shown. Magnetic resonance elastography is not affected by obesity, ascites, or bile interposition between the liver and anterior abdominal wall, all of which may limit the application of ultrasound-based quantitative elastography. Here, the upper figures are diagnosed case of fibrosis and corresponding stages shown here: F1, F2, F3, and F4, and the lower figure showing the MR elastography changes. And you can see that the more the fibrosis stage, the more the color change or the power change, such as in F4, METAVIR F4 stage, there is 11 kilopascal and the red color showing the more fibrosis, and the interpretation of the color is showing here. So more red, there is more fibrosis. Yellow, there will be fibrosis less than the red, and the other color, when the color is purple, there is no fibrosis included. So when a patient having any severe hepatitis B patients, that should be evaluated per year. Patients with BMI more than 30 but AST, ALT normal. Non-obese patient but AST or ALT level more than 20% of upper limit or above upper limit should be evaluated 1 year. Patients with daily drinking habit, that is alcohol patient, every 2 years should be evaluated by non-invasive screening, especially biomarker. Biomarker can rule out the fibrosis. They can rule out or rule in, but stages cannot be defined. If the fibrosis ruled out, then okay. But if the fibrosis cannot be ruled out, then non-invasive screening should be done by imaging method. We have shown. And if it is not ruled out, that is fibrosis is not ruled out by the non-invasive imaging method, then should we go for liver biopsy ultimately, because up to now liver biopsy is the gold standard to diagnose the fibrosis, cirrhosis, and also other some liver pathology, inflammatory condition, or tumor, etc. Here we will show some approach to hepatitis B and hepatitis C virus infection. If there is hepatitis C infection without human immunodeficiency virus co-infection, and treatment need should be combined with two non-invasive tests such as transient elastography and serum biomarker. If there is discordance, that is, the result is different, then should repeat the exam and search for the explanation. If again discordance, then liver biopsy should be done if management influenced by the liver biopsy. If concordance result, but there is no severe fibrosis or cirrhosis, no liver biopsy or and follow-up or antiviral treatment if extrahepatic manifestation occurs. If severe fibrosis or cirrhosis, liver biopsy no need, antiviral treatment should be done, and screening for esophageal varix or other varices and for hepatocellular carcinoma. In case of hepatitis B, we can do transient elastography, that is measurement of the liver stiffness. Then also should measure the ALT level. If alanine transaminase level is normal and in transient elastography the sharing modulus is less than 6 kilopascal, then no significant fibrosis. Should be considered follow-up of transient elastography if hepatitis B DNA is more than 2000 unit per ml. If up to 6 to 9 kilopascal and ALT is normal, then it is remain in the gray zone, and we can consider liver biopsy if the result influence the management. If more than 9 kilopascal, then severe fibrosis or cirrhosis, and whatever the hepatitis B DNA level and hepatitis E antigen status should consider treatment, and also for screening for varices and hepatitis C. If there is elevation of ALT but less than 5 times of the upper limit, then if less than 6 kilopascal in transient elastography, we should go as before. If up to 6 to 12 kilopascal, then it will be in gray zone, and liver biopsy can be done if it influences the management. If it is more than 12 kilopascal, then severe fibrosis or cirrhosis will be diagnosed, and whatever the hepatitis B DNA level and hepatitis E antigen status should consider treatment, and screening should done. So that is all about my presentation. Thanks to all.